t.A.T.u, the name that became synonymous with scandal, bold images, and revolutionary pop. In just a few years, they transformed from innocent schoolgirls singing in a children's choir into international sex symbols, changing the landscape of pop music forever. Their story is one of ambition, controversy, and a whirlwind rise to stardom. But what went wrong for the group that once broke records and dominated global charts? Let's take a deep dive into the drama, the successes, and the controversies of t.A.T.u. In 1999, the Russian pop scene was about to experience a seismic shift. A young girl named Lena Katina, originally part of a project called Yugoslavia, was at the heart of a new musical revolution. This track, a protest song condemning the US bombing of Yugoslavia, was the spark for what would become one of the most talked about acts in pop history. The project initially started with Lena, but her producer had bigger plans to turn her into the lead of a girl duo. Enter Yulia Volkova, who, with her bleach blonde hair, was soon transformed into the dark-haired, fiery counterpart to Lena. Their partnership was born in controversy, and it didn't take long for them to make waves in the music world. With the release of their first album, 200 kilometers per hour in the Wrong Lane in 2001, t.A.T.u took the world by storm. Their debut single, All the Things She Said, became an international hit, topping charts in numerous countries. It wasn't just a pop song, it was a statement, breaking taboos and challenging the norms with its provocative video and lyrics. The duo's androgynous, controversial image and the suggestion of a romantic relationship between the two members grabbed attention globally. It was bold, daring, and sparked both admiration and outrage. The song was inescapable, and t.A.T.u became one of the biggest pop acts on the planet. Their performance was raw, their image was bold, and their message was clear. They weren't afraid to break the rules. But fame comes at a price, and the next few years weren't all sunshine and rainbows for t.A.T.u. Despite their groundbreaking success, the duo faced challenges that ultimately led to their downfall. Their song, Not Gonna Get Us, featured a wild music video where the girls escaped from prison, setting off a chain of events that left fans both confused and captivated. However, the group's controversial image wasn't enough to prevent internal and external pressures. These pressures came from both their management and personal lives. In 2003, t.A.T.u were not just rising stars, they were trendsetters. Their bold and provocative image inspired many, including some of the biggest names in pop. In fact, the famous kiss between Madonna, Christina Aguilera, and Britney Spears at the 2003 MTV Music Video Awards happened shortly after t.A.T.u's breakout success. As their success continued to rise, so did the conflict. The group's involvement in Eurovision in 2003 was a turning point. The duo, already world famous, performed Never Neboysia for Russia. However, with no time for preparation due to their hectic schedule and a lack of serious vocal training, their performance was a disaster. Despite reaching third place in the competition, this was seen as a failure for a group that was on top of the world. It was clear that t.A.T.u had lost some of their magic. In 2004, t.A.T.u's story took a dramatic turn. The producer began to exhibit increasingly erratic behavior, and his actions started to affect the group's working environment. The duo could no longer tolerate the chaos, and after some tension, they decided to part ways with him. This marked the beginning of a rocky period for the group. The next year, in 2005, t.A.T.u released Dangerous and Moving, their second album, featuring the hit All About Us. However, despite the success of the single, the album did not perform as well as expected. As the group continued to struggle, Yulia Volkova's personal life took a hit. She underwent a thyroid surgery that caused nerve damage, and as a result, she lost her voice for a period of time. Meanwhile, Lena Katina was also dealing with her own set of challenges. Their once unstoppable rise had come to a grinding halt, and in 2011, the duo officially parted ways. The years following the split were filled with personal and professional struggles for both members as they attempted to carve out their solo careers. Neither Lena nor Yulia reached the same level of commercial success as they had together in t.A.T.u, and fans began to lose interest in their solo projects. But just when it seemed like the t.A.T.u saga was over, the duo made a surprise return. In 2012, Lena and Yulia reunited on The Voice Romania, where they performed their classic hits. In 2013, they briefly returned to their original image with the iconic plaid skirts and white shirts. They gave concerts in Japan and appeared in commercials together. But by 2014, the duo's relationship had soured again. Yulia made it clear that she was unwilling to continue in t.A.T.u unless Lena fully complied with her vision for the group. In 2025, the duo had decided to reunite once again with new photo shoots and joint appearances. Yulia and Lena began teasing new projects together. However, the first public performance after their announcement was a solo appearance by Yulia in Germany, leaving fans to wonder about the future of their collaboration. Despite the setbacks, the duo finally performed together again in Russia. After years of back and forth, they were ready to give it another try. But this time, will it work? Can the duo truly reunite? Or will history repeat itself? How do you think this group will be perceived in 2025? Will their past controversies and scandals affect their comeback? Or will they find a new place in pop culture history? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.